It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey everybody, and welcome to a special Fellowship of the Geeks episode. My name is Thomas Schick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey gang.
Les Webster.
Hello all.
Liz Newman.
Hello everybody.
And for this particular episode, we are joined by author Ann Fox.
Hi.
And from the podcast Writers Bagel Basket Podcast, Scott Erlin.
Hey guys, I brought my own mic.
Yay!
Yay!
How you get that one, Ann?
So how are y'all doing?
Good, but I watched this, so not so great.
Well, I want to thank you for this very special episode of Fellowship of Geeks. This is one that we've been or Mikey has been kind of hinting at for the last few weeks. It's part of the All That Horror going on for the month of October, and I'm going to turn it over for Mike to kind of explain a little bit more what's going on.
Oh, good, cool, because, yeah, I know what's going on, too.
What happened?
At least one does.
One does.
Somebody does. Anyway, so, hashtag all the horror on Twitter is honestly just a kind of a big old happy group of podcasters who are just wanting to have some fun in October and celebrate Halloween and celebrate the horror genre. And so we just kind of all got together and plan may be a strong word, but we're kind of passing each other around and being on each other's shows. And there are actually also some writers and some artists involved, and they're working up some stuff for the website, which, given that you guys won't hear this until the middle of October, is already available. Oh crap, I don't remember what the website was. But if you hop on to Twitter and look up the account at allthehorror18, that's ALLTHEHORROR18, there will be a link there, and you will be able to hop over to the website and check it out. They're working on some merch, so there should be some merch available. We're recording this way in the past, so they were just passing around some T-shirt designs on Twitter today, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, so we asked for people who wanted to come talk about, since our deal for this month is Vincent Price. I passed around the thing saying, hey, who wants to talk about The Last Man on Earth? And Scott and Ann, poor suckers that they were, volunteered.
I thought we were talking about the TV show.
Me too.
No, I have a weird connection to Vincent Price, which is, growing up, I had this kid. He was the kid that the parents invited him to all of the parties, and he was the type of kid who, like, at midnight of the sleepover would be like, it's tomorrow now. But he was obsessed with Vincent Price, and he would always we would all bring like Scream or like Freddy vs. Jason to a sleepover, and he would bring like The Pit and the Pendulum, or he brought this movie. And we had to be nice to him.
Well, so at midnight, did y'all kick him out? It's the next day. Get the hell out of here.
I believe that was the first time that 8-year-old Scott swore for the first time. Like, he's like, it's tomorrow now. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you were a science experiment. But we watched this for the first time when I was like 8 years old, I saw this movie. I'm like, okay, so why is the guy from Edward Scissorhands obsessed with finding a cure?
That's how I had to explain it to my son who he was. I said, "Remember the guy from Edward Scissorhands?"
Wow.
Oh my God, I have failed as a parent.
Well, he was also in Great Mouse Detective, right? He was Redigan.
Yes.
Amazing though, because it's Vincent Price, like legendary actor who he is, like in the Hall at least.
Well, it was weird that like the first 25 minutes to half an hour of this movie could have been like silent, and it would have been a beautiful film. And then like it's like, so I decided to go to the grocery store to pick up more garlic, and it's like you don't need that.
Another stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of look at it in terms of that narration thing. Okay, one, it's not any better than Blade Runner's narration thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, the deal is they're trying to make up for the fact that he's all by himself in the first half of the movie, and God, there had to have been a better way to do it than that.
Yeah.
It's just
That's where I Am Legend, I'm not a big fan of I Am Legend, but that's where they did it better because the first 25 minutes of that movie is silent.
he really doesn't talk, right? I mean, other than talking to the dog, that's it.
The mannequin, he talks to the mannequin too, who he tries to pick up.
Oh yeah.
But
Trying to
Will
forget
Smith trying to have sex with a mannequin, we can say for another day.
Now, that might be a whole different podcast. I don't know.
That's the September shows.
No, but Vincent Price was just all like, so, my kid died. Anyone else upset by that?
I didn't mind it so much. I've been listening to like a lot of audiobooks, and I've been listening to like Neil Gaiman for the past 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm kind of used to the narration, and it's kind of like, I wonder if he did any books. He's got an easy voice, but yes, I thought the first part of the movie could have moved a little quicker,
Really?
Yeah, him waking up and, kind of, I've got to do this and I've got to go get gas and, I've got to burn bodies. And it's kind of like, man.
Just a regular everyday morning,
Right.
Liz, I agree. I agree so hard. But also, I kind of wanted them to lean into the joke and do, so I decided to get on the 405 and for 25 minutes I had to turn around because I missed my exit. I'm like, I wanted them to go further with the joke.
Right.
That actually would have been awesome.
See, my favorite part of the movie was the whole beginning. I could see, it came out before, obviously, Night of the Living Dead, but you can see a little bit of that vibe of, like, locking up the practice between Night of the Living Dead and Last Man on Earth. A little bit.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was some influence happening there, too.
Yeah.
Same cinematographer, I think.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the movie's gorgeous to look at,
Yeah.
but everything else.
But yeah, that's when they start like moving around and talking and stuff that it gets bad.
Yeah. What do you mean, the talkies are coming out? Don't get me wrong, Romero is king, but, it got that I have to survive kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
Well, you guys realize that they shot this entire movie in Italy, right?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it was obvious that everybody other than Vincent Price was dubbed. Brutally obvious.
Oh my God,
I've
seen that movie so many times. I have never noticed that.
They all lived in Italian villas.
And drove Fiats.
And, Fiats and 10-year-old American cars, right?
8-year-olds drinking wine.
If I was...
Why she went blind.
It was Hooch.
8-year-old alcoholics for the win.
if I was the last person on Earth, I'd be driving a better ride than that. And he's like, oh, but I'm looking for a hearse. Why?
That's depressing.
Really into the movie Harold and Maude.
You can't have this is my cruising car and this is my burn dead bodies car.
Right.
You know.
You can have all the cars you want. There's nobody left. Come on.
And a big tanker of gas. I mean, you're not going to run out anytime soon. You know. Heck, drive the gas tank.
I'm
When
thinking,
he's picking up... Sorry, Mike, you were saying?
I'm thinking, why the hell didn't he hotwire the gas truck and drive it back to his neighborhood? I mean, shit.
That would've been
Instead of leaving it out on the highway.
That's too smart.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Too smart.
And just burn them where they laid. Maybe the others would go, ooh, maybe we don't need to mess with that guy.
And you'd think, because they specifically changed the story to make him a scientist in this movie. I mean, come on. Let's make him smart then.
Yeah.
Is that a
Well,
stretch?
Going back to him having to drive a hearse, anyone else started laughing unintentionally when he was in the car dealership? He's like, "Ew, that Corvette would be really nice." I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right. You're like, yes, it would. Get it.
Go for it. What's wrong with it? Get it. Go for it. Yes, you're not going to be able to haul things around in it. So what?
You get blood in the back.
Stop you.
Right.
But with Vincent Price, when you hear his voice, you can't help but laugh from the beginning to the end. It's like Vincent Price, you know, like it's just fun.
And on top
Yeah,
of
but
that,
have you heard the stories of all the action he got in the '60s? It's depressing and disgusting at the same time.
Oh, okay, well.
well, right, and part of the deal is, I mean, this is going to sound a little strange, given that the point was to talk about this movie, but watch him in any other movie but this one in the '60s, and you'll get it, because this is clearly the movie where he phoned it in. He obviously was not trying,
Right.
which is kind of where you get the weird smarmy voice thing going. It's just, he wasn't trying real hard.
Are you guys covering Dr. Phoebes?
I don't know if it's specifically on a list we've got yet. It may come up.
Because if you want chewing the scenery like it's a submarine sandwich, that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one of them, honestly.
Well, this one, so his wife's name was, he called her, I'm guessing her name was Virginia, but he kept calling her Verge, where they were really with it, and her name was Virgil. Like,
no, it was Virginia.
Okay.
Unfortunately. It would have made it a lot more interesting, but...
Well, he picked the worst nickname for her.
Yeah, it kind of did.
He was kind of pressed.
But what's funny is, how did he know he was the last man on Earth? Did he look like through the whole Earth? Like, the whole planet?
Well, he had his little radio that he kept
He also
calling
had
out
his
to.
little grid system of all the neighborhoods he visited.
Yeah, he was kind of working his way across the map. So he was the last man on Earth in, like, whatever suburb of L.A. he was supposedly in, or in this case,
Florence.
Rome. Right.
But then he found out he wasn't. That was, to me...
Right.
I love movies where you have a hero and he dies at the end. It's like, yes.
Yeah, right?
I shouldn't feel that way, but it's like, yes, because you didn't do the predictable. You didn't do, the hero always saves the day. He didn't. So, to me, that was awesome,
Mm-hmm.
Him dying, when he lets out his like.
Well, and I don't think I'd be calling people freaks when they had guns and iron prods aimed at me. They're not freaks, dude.
He brought a pen to a gunfight.
Right.
Right. I mean, and I'm the only man here. Yeah, you're all freaks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Bye.
I can save you. I already saved Mary or whatever her name was. It was you're free. Ruth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is close to Mary.
Which,
Yeah.
Right.
4 letters. It's all good.
Well, in this age of sci-fi cinema, the girl was always named Ruth. Like this Island Earth, Plan 9 from Outer Space, they're all named Ruth.
It was the 60s back.
Popular name.
Well, we're supposed to believe that it's like 1968, but it's clearly like 63.
Yeah.
Well, it's like those episodes of The Twilight Zone that say in the 1997 people are going to be able to fly all over the world and all over the universe. And
Wait, we can't?
no, we cannot.
We were supposed to be the Jetsons by now.
We can't
Yes,
we can't get a fucking hoverboard.
yes.
Come on.
Right.
Really?
Right?
What do we have? Hell.
It's 2019. Where the hell is my flying car? That's all I want.
It's in the shop.
Yeah.
Phil was showing me this picture of an old, it's like Keller's. To us locals, it's been around like forever. But they were showing all the old cars and stuff. And he's like, check this out. Look at the old cars. So I look at it, and right in the middle of it, it's like the DeLorean. That is so awesome.
Well, they're 30 years old now.
Right.
Yeah.
And these cars were like old iron cars, you know.
Old? What?
Model T.
The ones that you can wreck and they're fine.
I remember those.
Not crack the
They had,
bottom.
they had a crank in the front and you just had to turn it.
No, but it's weird. The car in Back to the Future is considered a classic now? My God.
Right?
Well, so is the Ecto 1.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Ecto 1 was a classic when that movie came out, though. That was like a 67 Cadillac hearse, whatever it was.
Mm.
Beautiful car, but not a brand new one.
So what would you all do if you were the last person on Earth?
I can shoot myself. I have no survival skills
I
whatsoever.
would kill myself at that point, too, yes. I think I'd just, that's it, end it.
Right. My family just died. What the hell would I care about living for? Come on.
Well, in his own way, he was. He couldn't kill himself, but like going to sleep when they're beating at the door, and it was almost like he didn't want to wake up, you know?
I
He
even said
didn't
that
wanna-
several times, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do that himself because, you know,
Right.
I don't know if I could kill myself, but
I'd go full John Wick.
Yep, guns blazing.
Nothing to lose. Go
yeah,
guns blazing, go after those zombies. I mean, okay, so they said that they were vampires, but they treated them like they were zombies. Or they looked like they were zombies.
all but the stake of the heart. That's what I thought.
They
too.
prefer to be called the living impaired.
I was waiting for Beetlejuice to show up and be like, hey man, what's going on?
Hey, babe, how's it going?
I'm trying to cut down myself.
Nice fucking blood cells. But, okay, so when he does his blood transfer with Ruth, did anyone else, like, see that giant syringe coming out of his arm and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh.
No, you know,
That was upsetting. That scene, that entire scene was very upsetting.
It was a little primitive, sure.
And he didn't have any juice or cookies for you when you were finished. And
Oh God, what a jerk!
Shoot, he gave her garlic in a mirror.
Right.
yeah, that tops off my meal.
Guys,
And as much whiskey as she could drink.
Right?
like, guys, I just
Well,
saved
he-
the work, you dicks.
Well, and that brings up an interesting point. It was never addressed in the movie. It's like, at what point did he figure out that his blood could be used as a serum?
Well, when you have a hubris like he did, I think from the very beginning.
Right. It all stemmed back from his days
his bat bite.
in Panama. Yeah, his vampire bat bite from Panama when he was in the service. In other words, he was friggin' guessing.
Yeah.
He had no idea.
And you know, when he explained it to this girl, and she was like, "Oh, okay," I'd be going, "What the fuck, dude? You had bats biting you in Panama? I mean,
Didn't even know there
what is
were
wrong
bats
with
in Panama.
this?
They
Did you
could have
cause
kept it so simple with, I'm immune.
Right.
That's what it is in the Will Smith one. That's what it is, right? Him and that other lady and her kid, they are the minority that are immune. Just go with
Mhm.
that.
Right. Why overcomplicate it? Especially given that in the book, I mean, we talk about him being a fake scientist in the movie. In the book, he was just a plant worker. They like upgraded him to scientist for the movie for some reason when they changed his
Well,
name.
in Omega Man, he's a plant worker, right?
Oh,
Except-
God, I don't remember.
A plant worker couldn't do a blood transfusion.
I think he was a scientist in Omega Man too.
Oh man, I'm never gonna believe Charlton Heston as a scientist.
Well, Vincent Price was a bit of a stretch, honestly. Come on.
Well, at one point when they started casting for I Am Legend, it was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you want to talk about stretching the premise?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
You
Schwarzenegger
won't
can't
be
be a
back.
scientist. He can be Mr. Freeze, but he can't be a scientist.
Well, give him glasses. Maybe he could.
Well, Mr. Freeze was a doctor, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Get my
All you have to
Bunsen
do is have a
burner.
pair of eyeglasses on them, and that's it.
Right.
I'll be positive.
Didn't he opt to do End of Days instead of doing I Am Legend, and that's what put I Am Legend in turnaround forever?
Absolutely.
Until like Will Smith is like, I'm gonna do this. Which Wild West. That's how Will Smith talks, right?
Pretty
He just
much.
said Wild Wild West and everything.
For at least 2 years after 1999, yes.
Well,
Well, I
I
remember-
remember that movie.
I remember seeing I Am Legend in theaters only because I heard that the Dark Knight trailer was before it, and that's why everyone in the theater was there. And after the trailer played, everyone left except for me and like 5 other people. So no one cares for the story.
You could spread out.
Get comfy, right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that in the theaters. Not gonna
Nah.
lie.
I mean, I go to the theaters on like off days because I don't want to sit near people, and I like, put my feet up and like own it, and you know.
Yeah, which is why
See,
I
I'm just
haven't
the
been
first
in the,
part.
That's why
I don't want to set my people.
Right. I haven't been in the movie theater in 5 years, so I'm with you. I don't nowhere near people.
Yeah. I have my bubble.
Lives in a bubble.
Yeah. Or I take 2 people with me so I don't have to sit by anybody else. I don't
And you go in the middle like a sandwich.
know. Yeah. If not, I get the end seat.
God, then these kids come in and they start chewing, and it's just like, ugh.
Yep.
Heathens.
Animals.
Yeah.
Animals.
I saw Blinded by the Light in the theater as me and another guy, and he had the balls to sit right behind me.
Oh, what an asshole.
We were in an empty theater.
Wow.
Oh boy. I wonder if they're gonna make another, besides the TV show, another like Last Man on Earth movie anytime soon. That's
They're
pretty.
doing, they're doing a Netflix, right?
Are they really?
I think they're doing like a mini-series, or like Amazon is. Someone's trying to turn this into a mini-series, and Will Smith is producing it because money.
Because I think he bought
Because
the
his
rights.
son doesn't have a job.
He bought the rights.
Right.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
I think for I Am Legend he bought the right, which is I think why they titled it that, because
Yeah.
that's the title of the book.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the title of it.
So now anytime they make this, he gets all the money.
Because he doesn't have enough. You know.
I don't think this is making a ton at this point either. But
No, I can see this doing really well as a Netflix series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is the TV show based on this? I mean, I've seen the
No.
TV show and I can't put the two together.
No, because there are other men on the show. The joke is that these hot women would not sleep with Will Forte if he was the last man on Earth, and they still wouldn't do it.
Right. And that one just got canceled, like, out of the blue.
Yeah. Wait, so we're to believe that Vincent Price is a sex symbol now? That because he's the last man on Earth?
I'm
He
not-
wants to go for a ride in my hearse.
Nowadays, with all the sperm banks and stuff that we have, he's not really that desirable. If we want to repopulate, we can do it by ourselves.
We don't even need men anymore.
Right? It kind of made
Well,
themselves obsolete.
Thomas, when did this turn come in?
No, I'm just saying, as far as repopulating, that's why somebody would find him attractive if they wanted to have a baby. I mean, he's the only sperm banker.
Wow.
He's got to be the sperm donor.
I will like to point out that this is Liz that did its turn here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean for it to take the turn that it did, but nowadays he would be less, gotta save him kind of thing,
It'd be me what? Yes, what are you saying, young lady?
Well, this guy's dark. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about guests self-destructing our show. We'll do it all by ourselves.
Love it.
So apparently, this was the one sketch that Bill Hader tried to get on SNL when he was on, because he does the Vincent Price, and he could never get it. Last Man on Earth, Vincent Price parody from when they would do the Turner Classic Movies. This was the one thing that they're like, no.
That's a shame, too. That would have been interesting.
But they'll let Steve Martin do El Paso?
That was a long time ago. When he gets stabbed with the spear.
The rubber spear?
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. I'm pretty sure I saw it bounce on the ground and then go back up.
Well, as he was falling, it was kind of like wobbling. See, and the one that he's holding in his house, it looks like a fence post kind of thing, So it's kind of like, wow.
The other one's a pool noodle.
And that bulky sweater, they could have played off the real thing a little better, It didn't have to be rubber.
This was not a movie that had a hell of a huge special effects budget, all right?
Or just a budget in general.
Pretty much, yeah. Still not sure what they paid Vincent Price.
But what they did was a step up from sticking like the sword under your arm and falling back, It just would have been easy to put a hole in the sweater, and there you go, dude.
Well, there's one guy holding a shotgun. Just shoot him.
Yeah, right. That's what I didn't understand. They're like all gung-ho until they get to him.
Well,
and then it took a whole minute to kill him? You've been chasing this guy through town. How did he even make it to the front of the church?
Because of all the smoke bombs.
Right.
That were so impressive.
Weren't they, though? Holy. They were
Which
great.
was more of a, look at me, I'm over here.
See, that's why they couldn't afford blanks for the damn shotguns, is because they sprung all the budget on the smoke bombs.
Which were 10 years old, too, so
Yes, absolutely.
they had expired.
This movie is an hour and 25 minutes, and it felt like an eternity.
It was a long... It did feel kind of long, yeah.
But then once the girl
zombie... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, it's funny because they knew who he was, the neighbors, in the first scenes and everything. Like, they were saying, let us in, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, if it were me, I'd let him in and let them kill me at that point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live without my family,
But that'd be the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Closing credits
I'd end it after
thank you for
10
coming.
minutes. Yeah, exactly.
Tack
It's like Bambi versus Godzilla.
Tack a few more cartoons on the end of it, and everybody will be much happier, probably.
Well,
That's true.
when he got stabbed with the spear, you should have just saw the animated popcorn. Let's all go to the lobby.
And so the girl at the end, is she not gonna tell them, hey, I'm not a freak anymore.
No, they'll find out soon enough, and then they'll kill her.
You know what's funny? Okay,
All of it.
funny may be a stretch, but in the
Yeah.
book, there's like several weeks between those things. And they make a point of saying, yeah, it's several weeks later, and then they finally come for him. It's not like the next night. So the fact that they really kind of glossed over that in the movie, I thought was interesting. Not necessarily
Actually,
the best choice.
It was the same night. She still had Band-Aids on her arm.
So that was the deal after being transfused with that big old horse injecting needle thing. She just didn't have the energy to stop them from killing him, I guess. I don't know.
But she said that he had killed some of their people. And it was like, huh. I mean, how did he do that? I mean, I've seen my...
like waking them up when he did his Hugo Stiglitz Inglourious Bastards, going to their houses or their lairs and just stabbing them with his stakes. I guess that's what she meant.
Oh, that was a fun
What, the Inglourious Bastards reference?
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
Well, that's what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense then.
You found something that made sense?
Right.
Let's not get crazy here. Come on.
Wow.
I was thinking, I've seen my kids in the morning when they're half awake and they're like, I could see somebody killing them thinking they were zombies, So,
Dang.
moving at the speed of a sloth,
So dark.
Here, honey, go ahead and step into this Iron Maiden.
Moving at the speed of smell.
Because when those people showed up, there was a vast difference between those who had already fully turned. You could definitely tell a difference,
Mm-hmm.
That the black really made them stand out.
There's that, yeah. They were organized. They had uniforms.
They were very organized.
They had all rated the same JCPenney.
Right.
Hey, wait a second now.
Oh!
When he's watching the video footage, the film footage that he shot for his daughter's birthday party, that footage was way too nice.
It was almost as high quality as the rest of the movie.
I'm guessing they had extra stock. And also, if Vincent Price is filming you at a children's birthday party with a camera, you run. Because that's turning into a snuff film. Hold on, I have a gun.
It's either a snuff film or a music video. I don't know which.
Music video.
I don't want to be in either one of those directed by Vincent. You like Van Halen?
Panama.
See, I would have loved to have seen Neil Diamond fight off the vampires.
Well, they would be forever in blue jeans.
Wow. How are you doing there, Les?
I'm just trying to figure how to fit Verge back in.
No, we haven't talked about Kathy yet.
Too. So, and another thing, they showed him at a mausoleum where he was laying over her grave because remember he fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But at the beginning of the movie, it showed that he buried her body out in a field.
She got up.
So she got. Oh, that's right. Okay.
She got better.
Yeah, she got out.
She got better.
I don't know how much better it
She's
was.
not quite
but
dead yet.
You're like dancing.
I feel happy.
Happy on the outside, dead on the inside.
Oh, you're not fooling anyone.
It wouldn't be an episode without a Monty Python reference.
Absolutely not.
When the dog comes as a proud dog parent, I got so upset when he's like, "So we're gonna be so happy," and then he's like, I gotta kill the dog. I'm like, God damn it, Vincent.
Yeah.
Totally agree. They could have left that out.
It's funny.
It was the steak sticking out of the dog that was upsetting most of all.
Right.
It's funny. I could see like the worst horror movies, but when the animal gets hurt or killed, I am so bothered.
Yes. Yeah. Like in Walking Dead when the horse dies. It was like,
yes!
You jackass!
Jackass? I thought you said it was a horse.
It was. With a jackass riding it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, let him die, not the horse.
Right?
The horse is worth way more than a person. Come on.
Really?
Especially in the apocalypse time.
Absolutely.
Well, if you think about it, in the apocalypse, all these horses and the 4 horsemen and everything, why are the horses evil?
They're not evil. They were just at a wrong party at the right time.
Because they can be?
Because they can be.
Because who's going to make them stop? Now,
well, as Norm Macdonald pointed out in the stand-up, even Hitler had a dog. So it's just who owns the animal at the time.
I think he was a vegetarian, too, but that's... Yeah.
The dog was a vegetarian?
Right. We're going to domesticate an animal. My dogs would kick me out of the house. What do you mean we ain't getting no meat tonight?
What's a vegan?
Tofu?
Right.
Are you for real?
I want to go back to the creek.
I can stop eating myself.
The little dog with the stick with the little handkerchief tied on the back, just carrying it along. I'm out. If I'm not getting meat, I'm out of here.
Right. All I need is this knapsack and this thermos, and that's it.
The hobo life is for me.
Nothing like a dog riding the rails with a bunch of hobos.
Stories for SpongeBob.
See y'all laugh. I have a little dog named Flacco, and he was rescued from the creek, and he did live with the hobos. So.
Aww.
How good is he on the harmonica?
He plays the ham bone.
Say, how can he play the harmonica? He doesn't have lips.
Right. Or thumbs. He don't have thumbs.
I think thumbs are optional for the harmonica. I'm not 100% sure there. But.
What movie was it? Shaun of the Dead, where they said that dogs can't look up?
Yes, that is Shaun of the Dead.
That was Shaun of the Dead. Okay, I'm sorry, but I know it had something to do with Vincent Price, but I was like, wait, where did that come from?
That's bullshit, because my dogs look up all the time.
All the time. Especially if you've made some kind of noise with a wrapper. They will hunt, seek, and destroy.
The sound of a can opener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That too.
Well, no, that's their food. They want our food.
They want food. They don't care where it came from.
Right.
Your food is better because guess what? You cook better food than you give them.
Right. They always have food in their bowl.
With the dog in this movie, do you think Vincent Price was like, yeah, I don't want the dog in this scene anymore. Is there any way we can get rid of it? Well, we could kill it, but that makes you look like a monster. Sold.
Give me the steak.
Put the steak on the set.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
No body doubles.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Did they say that any animals were harmed at the end of the movie, or?
No animals were harmed.
Okay. I don't know. Vincent Price.
Vincent Price didn't actually kill a dog, Anne.
He was fed steak.
Yeah, the other kind of steak.
Only the audience.
Right.
I just pictured that's in his writer. I have to kill a dog in real life, but that's Nope. I am a man of my principles.
Committed to the role.
A little too into the role. I killed that child 5 minutes ago.
I buried my daughter in this movie, and I don't think that's as far as I'll go.
Oh, he didn't bury her. He threw her down a hill.
Oh yeah, right. She got right. It was the wife that got buried. The daughter got just thrown into the damn eternal fire somewhere.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, when the army member was like, yeah, my daughter's on this bus too, and then he just throws a kid in there. Probably my daughter.
Probably.
Hi-ho.
What I could gather from the child getting tossed in there, that was a much smaller child than his daughter. Just looking at the comparison of the size of the two, I said, nah, not going to believe that part.
Unless I'm pretty sure that was a Betsy Wetsy.
Oh, okay.
It was a talking Tina.
It was a Twilight Zone reference, people. Come on. Keep up. Jeez. Yeah, I suspect the dog probably made more on the movie than Vincent did anyway.
That's why the dog has to go.
Right. He has to die.
He must die.
He has carte blanche.
It made hopefully more than the daughter did.
Oh, that
Dog
girl was the worst actor in the world.
The dog had more lines. What are you talking about?
Vincent Price probably just picked her up in a park and put her in the movie. You want to be in the pictures? We're talkies now.
Yeah. Bring your little dog, too.
Don't worry, I'll take you out for lunch. It'll be you, me, Lon Chaney Jr.
Maybe we can get Bela Lugosi, too.
Peter Lorre, ever seen the movie M? Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's an interesting movie right there.
I contemplated doing that this month, but I'm like, nope.
It's a little dark. Yeah, and of course there's the other fun change in this movie from the book, which was that instead of just killing him in a church, they actually captured him in the book. And Ruth comes to visit him again and brings him a poison pill, which he takes at the end of the book. So he actually does end up killing himself after all in the book.
Yeah, that would have been better, especially if like he hands him the pill and Vincent Price was like, "Do you have a glass of water?"
I swear to God, Vincent Price is going to haunt us for a very long time.
I don't know about y'all, but we got 4 more weeks to make up for this with his ghost. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because there are better movies in his stable. I mean, his IMDb is loaded with much better movies than this. But.
Are you doing the thief and the cobbler? That was his last movie.
I'm trying to remember if I've even seen that.
That was the animated one that took like 50 years to get made.
Okay, I probably haven't done.
It's terrible. It's awful. Just say no and we'll move on.
Okay, cool. Yep.
No SNL reference for anyone for them.
Yeah, but it's so awful you gotta see it? Or...
No, it's like the worst animated movie ever made. It's bad. And it came out like, it's basically Aladdin, and it came out 2 weeks after Aladdin came out.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So it took them 50 years to try to rush to beat Aladdin to the theaters and fail.
Well, the director was making the movie, he was funding it himself, for like the better part of 3 decades.
Wow.
And the movie like
working at Starbucks.
Yes. Exactly.
3.5 more years, and I can do 5 more minutes.
Please hurry up and make the movie. I'm gonna be dead soon.
Sounds like eating Raoul.
I was thinking it sounds like The Other Side of the Wind.
Eating Raoul, that's a deep cut.
Les is our specialist in deep cuts.
Well, that movie actually has a sister film. Chopping Mall is technically supposed to be a sequel to Eating Raoul, because they're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I know that.
Still think this movie needs a sequel. No more reboots. Let's just continue the franchise on.
There you go.
Well, I Am Legend was supposed to have a sequel. They were going to do a prequel of, like, Will Smith was supposed to be responsible for everyone dying. Like, he released the Contagion, and then that's why he was so gung-ho about finding a cure.
Was this just his excuse for trying to remake the Andromeda Strain as well? Or what?
I don't know. He's a Scientologist. He's weird, man.
Is he?
Is he?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I didn't know.
Him, Tom Cruise, and David Beckham are all, like, neighbors.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Explains a few things, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he mainly does sci-fi movies. Like, that's why. Because Scientology said, go make your sci-fi movies.
Right. Tom Cruise has made a few of his as well. But a few remakes of sci-fi movies that probably shouldn't have been remade.
War of the Worlds.
Uh-huh. That was the first one I thought of.
He got paid $20 million to carry Dakota Fanning around. Think about that. Just think about that. Oh, he was the original choice. Before Schwarzenegger, they wanted Tom Cruise. Or after Schwarzenegger, they wanted Tom Cruise to play the Doctor. And he's like, yeah, but he can't die. And they're like, okay, bye.
Right. I guess that's over. Jeez. So much for that negotiation.
Looking at the story, it was written by one of the great writers who's got a huge list, and that always fascinated me because he turned out some really fine work. But to me, some way they turned it on this movie. And, just kind of put it out there and hope that somebody would rescue it, which did not happen.
And didn't the director change his name so he didn't even have to be associated with this one?
No. That was Richard Matheson that did that. That was the writer.
Okay.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Faith in your work there,
He wrote the book, and then they brought him in to write the screenplay, and he got so pissed off eventually at all the stuff they were trying to get him to change that he was like, fine, put this other random pen name on it. I don't want my name associated with this anymore. His own story.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the thing that puzzles me from the beginning of the whole thing is, why in the hell did anybody, whether Matheson did or not, why the hell did anybody ever think this book would make a good movie? I don't understand it.
Because this came out at the time of the Cold War, so like everyone had the fear of the Cold War. So this was one of those. Sci-fi was huge with Cold War themed movies that were actually like zombie movies or vampire movies, but it was an allegory for the Cold War, so that's why this was huge.
Right, but it's, as a book, it's okay. I read the book recently and I really liked it, but man, it's not movie material. I mean, again, we go back to that whole first half of the movie being him by himself, talking to himself, with the weird narration thing going on.
Once silent would have been better. Like, this was that time period where they were afraid of, like, accepting French or Italian New Wave, where those films proved you don't need talking to tell a story.
Right.
And they're like, no, Americans are stupid.
Right, we have to spell this out for them. Oh, they're still doing that, like I said, in 1981.
Oh, they're still doing that today.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Breathe, Mike, breathe.
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Is that
Shrug it off.
okay?
I think I'm okay.
Rub dirt on it.
Uh-huh.
How much do you think Vincent Price got paid for this movie? My guess is a lot.
God, I hope so, for his sake, because...
Well, they even commented on it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, they would get, like, actors at the end of their career, or supposedly towards the end, and then, like, Italy would hire them. And they would pay, like, a ton of money for famous actors. And then they would have a resurgence. And that's what happened here. Because this was, like, the rise of the Price-a-sance.
Interesting.
Price-a-sance, I like that.
You could have also gone with the Renaissance. Because this was like before The Raven, right? I'm pretty sure this was before he did The Raven and The Pit and the Pendulum and all of those really, sleepover movies.
Yeah, he kind of fell in with Corman, with Roger Corman after this. I think it was after this.
Yeah.
This felt like a Roger Corman movie. It wasn't.
No, it was a Robert Lippert film. So that explains a lot.
There you go. Sure, whoever that is.
Oh God, a lot of his movies have been on Mystery Science Theater 3000, so that should tell you a lot.
Oh yeah, that's meaningful.
Did he do Manos?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying to come up with a list of some of the movies he did.
Manos: The Hands of Fate was Harold P. Warren. A couple of years later.
Yeah.
66.
This was 63, right?
Yeah.
So
64.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it was filmed in 63 because this was the time period where it took forever to make a movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, released in March of 64. So yeah, they would have been shooting it well before that.
Well, they should have kept shooting because they kept missing.
I wish they predicted the future in this movie, and the fact that it takes place in 68, I say with quotation marks. I wish everyone was like a dirty hippie, and he was the only clean-cut 1950s style dad still.
That's like a statement right there.
And not even a great representation of it. I mean, kind of in all the worst ways. And it's just, it's very weird. There's some very weird choices made. It wasn't that bad in the book.
Now, when was the book written?
1954.
54. Okay.
Yeah, good way. And
Yeah.
it's actually set in like 1975 or somewhere in there, so it's even.
Well, yeah.
The time is in.
The future.
Uh-huh. Yeah, where everybody drives hearses. You say that, and nowadays, I mean, how different is an SUV from a hearse? Let's think about it. We really kind of all do drive hearses.
Or all the hearses driving us.
Well, how else are you supposed to transport all those bodies you're going to throw in your giant fire pit? When he threw that dummy, it was a dummy. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
What?
But when he threw it, it was so effortlessly. He was like, eh. There you go. And like he wasn't even aiming the gas or the match where he like threw the body.
Right. And that fire had been burning for quite a while, too.
Oh, he'd allegedly been all by himself for like 3 years, and that
Yeah.
pit fire is
Throwing-
still burning?
3 gallons of gas on it a day? Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
If he was smart, he would have just created a giant fire pit and he would have lived in it. Like a cave. The opposite of an igloo.
And he would chant, "Oh,
Well, they wouldn't have messed with him. I mean, they're like, oh, there's the crazy guy who talks like Vincent Price and lives near the fire pit.
Get him!
Oh, no, some people are too crazy to mess with, you know.
Well, the fact that they had to give him a honeypot was very upsetting. And that's what Ruth was. Ruth was a honeypot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, Vincent Price is a sex symbol and he needed a Bond girl.
He did seem a little obsessed at times with that.
I'm guessing, like, this was 63, they started filming it and released in 64, so I'm guessing the original person they wanted for this film was probably someone like Peter Sellers or, like, David Niven or even James Mason. I think Vincent Price was, like, the last line of defense.
Yeah, could be.
I think they were trying to line up Niven and Sellers to do Casino Royale in about 5 years.
Well, this would have been the time of the Pink Panther, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Sounds about right.
Within a couple of years, either way.
You talk about the hearse. Something I noticed when I watched this recently. Yeah, I mean, when he pulls out the bodies, you're going, oh, that's obviously dummies, just because of the way we're going. But the fact that he spent the rest of the time he was out doing errands, he never closed the back. He would go to the grocery store and grab all the stuff and throw it in the back, and it's like, you're just not worried about anything falling out, okay? I mean, I know you don't have to make sudden stops because there's not any traffic, but it's just, I was like, come on.
You'd think out of habit.
Yeah.
You'd just close
Ugh.
it. You'd think out of habit, but...
Yeah.
Well, there's one explanation for that. He's an asshole.
Well, I mean, if you want to really think about it, which I'm not sure we do, but he's hauling corpses. They probably don't smell great.
Well, that's true.
And some of them have been there for a couple of years, so... I mean, except for the ones he's freshly killing, which, you know...
Oh, he probably has Febreze in the back of that car.
Little potpourri.
He's got all the little pine tree car freshener thingies.
But that's okay, because after he took the bodies out, he just replaced them with garlic, so that just solved everything.
Oh, yeah. This guy's sense of smell clearly died a long time ago.
Well, the irony of this conversation is before he died, Vincent Price used to do these commercials for air fresheners and, like, mildew, like, stain removers.
Oh my.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He did, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Because I remember those old commercials as a kid of, like, Vincent Price being like, mildew stains.
I'm so gonna look that up.
You should. It's funny as hell. I think it was like Clorox or like 409.
It's got to be on YouTube. It's got to be. Everything is on fucking YouTube.
Everything's on YouTube.
Interesting. A story like that would also be a really good video game too. Surprised they hadn't tried to cash in on that.
Oh, well, they did. When they released I Am Legend, they did create an I Am Legend video game for PS2.
Yeah.
Oh, they had that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's not good, but...
Oh,
There's a
I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, I'm coloring me surprised.
Yeah.
You're running around playing with yourself.
That's a different kind of game, Liz. Jeez.
I mean, you're the only person, right?
Here she goes back to the sperm banks and all that.
Yeah, I was wondering when we return to that.
Well, one or no more or less. We're there.
We're there. Oh man, we're talking about horror shows, and I look up, and there's my son standing right over me. I didn't even see him come in or nothing.
Was he holding a knife?
Right,
No, just a Slurpee.
is he wearing a Michael Myers mask or anything?
Oh, it was worse. He was dressed as Vincent Price.
You're not-
Dickie and everything.
All right, if we're gonna talk about the Dickie, we got to go to Charlton Heston.
Well, he had an ascot. Vincent Price had the Dickie. He had the fake turtleneck.
Oh,
What was
man.
Will Smith's answer to this particular piece of accoutrement?
I'm gonna take my shirt off.
Right.
That's what he did. He was ripped.
So 2007.
Well, apparently Will Smith has a giant trailer that he brings to every movie that he works on, and it's just filled with, it's like an indoor gym in this like RV. So apparently when they were filming I Am Legend, he was there in that gym for like 6 hours a day before they would call him on set. Just getting toned for when he had to pretend to get toned.
Man.
Stars, they're just like us.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably,
Yeah, I
probably playing that first DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince album the whole time. In that
That's what I was
I'm pretty sure DJ Jazzy Jeff has hit the DJ in that gym while he's working out. You're the man, WS.
Come a long way since West Philadelphia. West Philadelphia.
Long way. Strangely enough, it seems he brought it with him, though.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Apparently it all fits in his trailer.
Yeah. Enough of it to matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Remind me what happened at the end of Omega Man. It's been so long now. Yes, I saw it first run, but
He dies, right?
He does die. He dies in a fountain.
He dies in a fountain. Yeah. And of course, the way his arms are draped over the sculpture, kind of looks like a crucifixion.
Imagine that, Charlton Heston getting all Jesus-y on it.
Jesus.
Moses himself.
You truly are the king of kings.
And he developed a serum.
Yeah, he handed off the serum, or had the serum in his hand or something when they came and found him.
Yeah.
He's not a scientist. There's no way Charlton Heston's a scientist. Just like I didn't believe him as an astronaut in Planet of the Apes.
You can pry my test tubes out of my cold, dead hands.
Viruses don't kill people. Apes with viruses kill people.
Ooh, too soon, maybe. I don't know. That could be too soon.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Then again, it depends.
Thanks, the 80s.
Depends on how Marky Mark you want to go on that one, really. But again, that one also might be another podcast. Actually, I think we've talked about Planet of the Apes before, haven't we, guys?
We talked.
I think we did, yeah.
Talked about the original one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is my favorite series. Like, I am obsessed with all of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, Liz is obsessed with Tim Burton, so
Yeah.
Fair. Yep. I want to lick his brain.
It'll let you.
he might.
Probably would.
He wants to do what?
If you'll let him.
Okay.
If you'll let him make a third Alice in Wonderland movie, I'm sure he'll let you lick his brain.
You didn't even make a second Alice in Wonderland movie. They had to get the guy who made the Muppets. Once I got to the Dickie, I ran out of stuff to say about this movie.
I think we said enough, probably.
We were pretty comprehensive up to that point anyway, so yeah,
You know he just picked out his own wardrobe. He's like, I'm going into my own closet. No more Dickies. No more Dickies, Vince. And he's like, no.
You're not the boss of me.
Deal breaker.
I said I would get paid in craft services vouchers. Now you let me pick out my outfit.
This movie doesn't have the budget for wardrobe anyway.
It's like David Bowie on the set of Labyrinth. They're like, well, we don't really know what we're going to do for your costume. And he's like, don't worry, I got it covered. And he went into his closet and he just brought stuff.
I got you.
I knew all the Ziggy Stardust stuff would come in handy someday.
Oh, he took half Ziggy Stardust and half Thin White Duke, and he put it together. Do I really need the codpiece? Alright.
Codpiece? What codpiece?
Yeah, real. Oh, childhood. Mommy, what's that?
God, I really wish we didn't see this in 3D.
Why don't I have one, Ma?
Oh, I do not envy your mom. This is the part in the movie where we talk about David Bowie's junk.
Right.
Unrelated topic, Dark Crystal looks amazing.
I binged it all.
You already did?
Oh, yeah. I'm done.
Oh, I still have to.
Yeah, no spoilers. I'm not going to give anything away. I mean, I could. It's called The Dark Crystal, but...
Well... Maybe for all the horror collab thing, we can all have a seance to try to talk to Vincent Price.
I'd rather talk to David Bowie.
I was thinking Jim Henson would be a pretty good one, honestly.
You asked for Bowie, you got Price.
See if
Have
y'all
a seance
remember
to talk to
mine.
Jim Henson? What would he say? Yeah, I probably should have gone and seen a doctor.
Oh.
Oh my god.
But he should have saw a doctor.
He's sitting next to Bob Marley having that conversation. Let me tell you.
Right.
That just turned a bad improv sketch.
Yeah.
And I think it goes something like that. No.
Yeah, I would complain about this going dark, but this is supposed to be the horror episode, right?
Yeah.
Can't complain about dark.
But now we have wrong sound and Muppets.
They should make a Dr. Loomis Muppet. I don't know, I should start that.
Well, I think we talked this film to death.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
Yeah. To death or death impaired. How did she
Or
put that
undead.
earlier?
Or undead. One or
The
one or the
dead
other.
Living impaired, yeah.
Living impaired. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, if they're dead, then they need to stay away from heavy machinery.
Just throw them in the back of a station wagon and let's head for the pit, right?
Right.
You should remember that, Liz. That's from Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah. I try not to remember much of that movie. Especially when me and Brandon look at each other in the eyes, you know.
Okay, watching it with your 18-year-old son was probably not the best choice.
No,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
was.
No. But thanks for that warning beforehand.
Well, I have no idea. It didn't even occur to me that Catholic high school girls in trouble would get you in trouble.
Don't show him Amazon women on the moon.
She's already shied away from that one.
Yeah, she's a little more hesitant taking movie suggestions from us now.
Yeah, after the first couple, it was like, eh.
Especially anything we compare to Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah. If it's in the same wheelhouse, I'll stick to my animation and cartoons.
I was about to say anime. No, I don't know if that's any better.
Well, animated's not better. Show Watership Down.
Ooh.
Secret of Nim.
He'd probably know those titles and be like, no, Mom, no.
Too bad you're watching.
So did we check the Rotten Tomatoes score on this one?
I thought you had.
Nope.
No, I actually didn't think to look at that.
As of November 2011, it holds a 71% rating, according to
Get
Wikipedia.
out.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly successful on release, but it did kind of pick up steam over the years.
Phil Hall, a film critic, called Last Man on Earth the best Vincent Price movie ever made. Oh my God!
Well, that's not really setting the bar high.
I would argue on that one.
I question his judgment for sure.
Now, you folks are talking about movies like, what was it, Dr. Goldfoot?
Oh, and the Bikini Machine?
I think he had 2 or 3 of those in that series.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is far better than Dr. Goldfoot.
Are they?
I don't have to, I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to judge. I'm just saying this was a lackluster performance. That's all. That's kind of all I'm doing with it. I'm not saying it was his worst movie. It was not his best.
No.
Okay. Les, Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine stars Vincent Price, Frankie Avalon. Okay. No.
Those are 2 names that should never be together.
No.
If one of the stars is Frankie Avalon, it's not going to be a good film. I'm sorry.
So this was his clam bake? Is that what you're saying?
There you go.
Now, that was Elvis.
Can you just picture Vincent Price singing Venus?
Venus.
No, the other one. Frankie Avalon's Venus.
Oh, I'm sure.
Venus was her name.
Oh, I wish he had an album.
You know, I gotta look because I just don't know anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I wouldn't either.
Christmas.
Oh wow, that would be
Vincent
awesome.
Price sings the Monkees. So we got Sleepy Jean
Daydream Believer.
and Homecoming. I just went in the Davy Jones there.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
He recorded dramatic readings of Poe's short stories and poems.
Oh, that I can believe.
That I can believe. But I don't see anything about about an album. But then again, in the '60s, all of them did.
I mean,
All of them did that.
Nimoy had a song.
How about 4 cookbooks?
Yeah, I did see that.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 cookbooks. That's awesome.
Vincent Price?
Vincent Price.
Yes.
Get out of here, really?
Between 65 and 71. 4 cookbooks.
Wow.
Who knew?
and recorded a number of audio cooking tutorials.
Oh, that's awesome.
Uh-oh, guys. There was an album.
Oh, no.
Oh, get out.
What was it?
Tell us.
It was called Witchcraft Magic.
Okay.
When was this?
Well, it looks like a compilation of quite a few, spanning from 1969 to 2008.
Oh, okay. So this is like posthumous.
Yeah.
That's fine. This it's not like Christopher Lee like recording a metal album.
That happened.
That happened. Yes.
That did happen, yep.
That
Yeah.
did happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
did, yes.
Shit, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I may have that on an MP3 player somewhere.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
I think our friend Troy says it's a pretty good album.
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
What, that Troy would say that, or? Sorry, Troy, if you're listening.
Oh, he will.
Oh, and he also sang in The Great Mouse Detective.
Well, yeah, but that's Disney singing.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That's okay.
I mean, it's not like him cutting an album, which he did. It's not like him doing a bunch of Hall & Oates covers. She's the man-eater. And that brings it back to the movie. I mean, this movie, just everyone thought he was a dick. And no one had the balls to say it. Like, his Uncle Ben, his friend, was like, no, you're wrong. And then everyone's like, yeah, you're a dick.
Wait, which movie are we talking about again?
This movie. Because the guy's like, how could you be so blind? This is a virus that's going to kill everyone. He's like, no. And he's like, you're a dick. And then his daughter's dying, and the wife's like, you're going to work? That's saying he's a dick. And then Ruth, like, every time she said, get your hands off me, you're a dick. So this movie should be called Vincent Price is a Dick and he got what's coming to him.
The pity was that he took the whole damn world down with him. Yeah. It's in addition to all of the quote unquote praise we're lavishing upon it. It's a product of its time very much, which is very, I mean, okay, I take that back. It's a product of about 5 years before its time. In terms of that sort of thing. It's just, it's a little hard to watch at times.
Well, I loved it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the crap out of it, but
No, yeah, it's like, you like it for what it is.
mm-hmm. It is an interesting artifact.
Yes.
Sure.
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
It is.
It is a movie. Absolutely.
And what a way to end the show, saying it was a movie.
Or a documentary.
There you go.
We can't say if it was a good movie or a bad movie.
Oh, I
It's a
think
movie.
we spent the last hour and a half saying whether it was a good movie or a bad movie.
Right.
What's the movie?
Were you not paying attention, Liz? So, Ann and Scott, if y'all want to take a couple minutes to promote yourselves,
Plug
please.
yourselves.
Plug yourselves. Now
Plug. Okay. My name is Ann Fox. I write a lot of horror. I have a book called The Cat That Caught the Canary available now, and a book based on survival horror, kind of like a video game, called After Midnight, available on Barnes & Noble only. And I advise you to use Nook. It's a lot cheaper, trust me. And there's more to come. I keep writing, and hopefully you guys will see more of me. That's it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, too, guys.
Sure. And Scott?
Well, if you like hearing about bad movies, I also do a podcast. Apparently, I'm having a stroke. I do a podcast called Writer's Bagel Basket, where we watch bad movies and TV shows. And then sometimes, if I want to be nice, I'll throw in a good movie occasionally. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Unfortunately, the Twitter is at WRTRBAGELBSKT. No vowels, all vowels, no vowels, because Twitter hates me.
15 characters just ain't enough, you know.
I know, right? And we're at over 100 episodes. By the time this comes up, probably at 115. So yeah,
That's cool.
Bravo.
you
Yay.
have plenty to listen to.
Cool.
Yep, and I'll link you guys in the show.
Thank
notes.
you, and thank you for having me.
Oh, God,
Thank
yeah.
you,
This
yes.
is a blast,
Thank you.
guys.
This
Yeah.
was.
Really
I
appreciate
had a lot of fun.
Yep.
It was a good time. Thank you.
And on that note, we do appreciate y'all tuning in and checking out this very special episode. And we gotta do this again. We gotta have y'all on again.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Anything you want, just no more Vincent Price.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do Charlton Heston next time.
There we go.
There you go. All right. With that, we bid you a fond good night.
All right, everybody.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night. Peace out.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,